We question our daily position, seeking answers and definitions. Get the queries off your chest with Ahkam SOS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ahkam SOS, the show that discusses Islamic duties and practices. Now, mashallah, this is the first Friday, the 3rd of Ramadan. Inshallah, all your fasts are going well. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your amal during this month. This is a live show. We do take in your questions. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask in regards to Ramadan, your fasting, and maybe a different topic, maybe jihad or hajj or zakat and khums, send in your questions via the WhatsApp, the email address ahkamsos@imamhussein.tv, or alternatively, give us a call here in the studio, 0203 515 0199. Inshallah, myself and the Sheikh will be able to discuss and answer all of your questions. I'm your host tonight, or today, Mohsin Shah, and joining me is Sheikh Ali Maash. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing this evening?
Alhamdulillah, fine.
How's the fast going?
Oh, going great.
MashaAllah, taqabbal alaikum, inshallah. Sheikhna, when it comes to the holy month of Ramadan, we take our teachings from the Ahlulbayt and from specifically Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. So my first question is that did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi wasallam during his life give any sermon or any speech or any hadith to help prepare the Muslims for Ramadan?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. Of course, there was a great sermon by the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi with regards to the forthcoming of the month Ramadan. He gave this lecture or sermon on the last Friday of Sha'ban. So exactly like last week's Friday. And he mentioned great points with regard to the forthcoming of the holy month of Ramadan. Inshallah, we try to bring each line and speak about it. But just to recap on what we said on the last 2 days through this hadith, Imam al-Sadiq salamullah alayh, just to conclude what we said through this hadith, to what Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam said in his Risala al-Huquq, Imam al-Sadiq salamullah alayh, he speaks about how to fast properly, the right method of fasting. The Imam salamullah alayh says, إذا صمت فليصم سمعك وبصرك وشعرك وجلدك, to the end of the hadith. The Imam says, when you fast, make sure that your hearing, your sight, your hair, your skin, your hair, your organs, other organs, they also fast. The rest of the organs. Everything should fast. It's not just to refrain from eating and drinking. Also, you have to observe complete fast. Be humble before Allah Azza wa Jal. You are in the holy month of Ramadan. Shahrullah. We shall come to this line of the meaning of Shahrullah. So, very important that we observe fast with all due respect and manners and etiquettes of this holy month. Also, the Imam mentions لا يكن صوم لا يكن يوم صومك كيوم فطرك. Make sure that the day of your fast should not be like the day in which you're not fasting, like normal days in which we have breakfast, lunch, and so forth. It should be different. You're in a timeline in which you have to make sure that you pass this test, because even this holy month is a part of the program of Allah's testing human beings. So you have to make sure that you pass this test while you're observing fasting. Make sure that you don't do backbiting while you're fasting. Make sure you don't lie, you don't swear, use language and so forth. So I think it's more emphasize on the fact that you have to be vigilant and diligent and make sure that you watch yourself minute by minute, and that would give you the opportunity to, inshallah, to quit all that of bad sins and habits after the holy month of Ramadan. Now we come to the khutbah and the sermon of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with regard to the holy month of Ramadan. Of course, this is narrated by Imam Al-Rida alayhi salam by the chain of his great fathers and grandfathers to Imam Ali alayhi salam, in which the Imam said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave this sermon on the last Friday of Sha'ban, and then he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أيها الناس إنه قد أقبل إليكم شهر الله بالبركة والرحمة والمغفرة. O people, the month of Allah has approached with blessing, mercy, and forgiveness. So initially, let's talk about the first half sentence of the khutbah, of the sermon. أنه قد أقبل إليكم. This holy month approached you. We usually, for the salah, we have a call of salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You have to go and pray. So the adhan calls you to pray. You have to go for, prepare your wudu, salah, to pray. The Hajj, for example, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ, as we have in the holy month of the Hajj, in which you have to go and perform the rituals of the Hajj. You have to go.
Yes.
You have to prepare for the buying ihram and the requirements of the travel, visas, and so forth, and tickets for traveling. But the holy month of Ramadan is inviting us, أقبل إليكم. So it comes to you while you're sitting in your comfort of your house, in which you have to observe fast in this case. So this is one of the exceptions or the uniqueness of this holy month of Ramadan, that it comes to you. You don't have to go for it. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go and prepare, let's say, your prayer mat, or go to the mosque for the Jumu'ah prayer, for example. It comes to you wherever you are. Shahrullah, of course, it is the month of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah Azza wa Jalla specifies, some of the months, like the month of Ramadan, to himself. It's like Baytullah, the house of God, the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. It gives some kind of greatness, some kind of sanctity to that month, to that location, to that place. So the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bil barakah. This month comes with barakah. Now, what does barakah means? Of course, barakah means blessing in English. But in Arabic, when you look through that what brings the barakah in this holy month, we'll find that the meaning in the Arabic is that it brings stability and the goodness of this holy month. Stability and goodness in this holy month. Of course, you see this barakah in the time of iftar. MashaAllah, the banquet, the sufra is filled with everything. You have invitations by the friends, or sometimes even some brothers and sisters who are working hard, especially in London, to spread the food to the houses and to the people who can't really go out and do the shopping and so forth. In which they did very well last year for the whole 30 days. Imagine, every day you have delivery of food to your house. A great, mashallah, job, which was done by the brothers and sisters, and is still to be done, inshallah, for this month as well and this year. So barakah brings blessings of this holy month in a way that the one feels different spiritually. The barakah comes spiritually, materialistically, and so forth. It comes at all means. Of course, the Holy Quran brings the word barakah, such as in this blessed ayah. ولو أن أهل القرى آمنوا واتقوا لفتحنا عليهم بركات من السماء والأرض. And if the people of the townships had believed and kept from evil, surely we should have opened from them blessings from the sky and the earth. In other words, if you do taqwa, if you observe piety, if you obey Allah Azza wa Jal, apply and implement the wajib, refrain from the haram, Allah would send the blessings from the sky and the earth. And that's what we have in narration that in the time of the Imam Al-Hujjah Ajjallah Farjahu Al-Sharif, in his reappearance on Dhuhr, the blessing would be visible from the heavens and earth as well. So basically, that's the blessings in which this holy month brings to us, with all its meanings of barakah and blessings. Then Ar-Rahmah. This holy month also brings rahmah, brings mercy. The kindness of Allah Azza wa Jal in this holy month, in which Allah Azza wa Jal, in one of the also verses of the Holy Quran, that your Lord has prescribed the rahmah on himself. كتب ربكم على نفسه الرحمة, that Allah would spread this rahmah in dunya, of course, in this holy month, and also in akhirah. We read in Dua Kumail, Allahumma inni as'aluka birahmatika allati wasi'at kulla shay. That I ask Allah Azza wa Jal with his vast rahmah and mercy, in which encompassed and covered everything, this whole universe and even the hereafter. Rahmatullah Azza wa Jal exists even to those who don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. They still have some rahmah, some kind of rahmah they have. They have their living, their income, their enjoyments, ala kulli hal. All this for dunya, but ala kulli hal, this rahmah comes to them. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ala kulli hal. So we get this mercy and rahmah in dunya in this holy month specifically, and particularly in this holy month of Ramadan. Also, you see that the next part is the last part read from this sermon and khutbah, wal maghfirah, that Allah Azza wa Jalla brings his forgiveness, and that's what we need in this holy month. That we have accumulated on our shoulder, on our backs. Allah knows how many of sins, of small sins, of great sins, na'udhu billah, for the past 11 months. Now we need the time to erase and delete and wipe all these sins from our shoulder. So this is the best time, the holy month of Ramadan, that there is maghfirah, forgiveness. Take this opportunity to beg Allah, invoke Allah Azza wa Jal, ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive us and to release our necks from the hellfire. Atq raqabah means to release your neck from the hellfire. أسألك فكاك رقبتي من النار. I ask Allah to release my neck from the adab of the akhirah. Allah Azza wa Jal states in his holy book, إن ربك واسع المغفرة. Allah Azza wa Jal, he has a vast and a great means of he offers this maghfirah in dunya and akhirah as well, in the qiyamah. And of course, those who follow Al Muhammad sallallahu alayhi will gain inshallah the shafa'ah with their blessing inshallah. And of course, this month is a good opportunity for the sinners to come forward, because this month things will be different. It will be more lenient. Things will be easier to get, to grasp, to gain, to attain. So let's take this opportunity and ask Allah Azza wa Jal for his blessing, mercy, and forgiveness, inshallah.
Ahsan, Shaykhna. One thing I wanted to mention is, when I was told about the barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so forth, it comes upon man, not just the Muslim community, but it comes upon man the same way the rain falls upon man. As in, the rain doesn't look at whether you're a male or a female. It doesn't look whether you are Arab or non-Arab. It doesn't look at your skin color, nor does it look at the language you speak, nor does it even look at your good deeds or your bad deeds. The rain just falls on you equally upon everyone. And it's the same with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah and his blessing. Inshallah, we pray that everyone benefits from this month, inshallah. Shaykhna, my next question is that if an individual is in a state of junub and purposely doesn't want to, perform the ghusl and purify himself before the Fajr Adhan, is this person's fast still valid or not?
You see, if he does this act intentionally and he knows that he must go and do the ghusl before the Fajr Adhan, then if he ignores it, then by the time of the Adhan Fajr, then his fast for that day will be invalidated. So he needs to make it up later and do qada of this day.
I see. Yeah, I believe that one of the main conditions, prerequisites of fasting is all that you must be in the state of tahar. So in order to to fast. Shaykh, now I believe we do have a question from one of the viewers, and the question is it obligatory for a pregnant lady to fast during the month, the holy month of Ramadan? From His Eminence, the Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Hakim.
Ayatollah Hakim gives three possibilities for the fasting or not fasting of a pregnant woman. So number one, he would say that if fasting harms the mother and the fetus or the baby in a way that they cannot fast, there's a danger, there's a possibly some kind of harm, let's say miscarriage and so forth, any harm that would cause for the mother or for the baby, then she shouldn't fast and she can make it up later those days, qada in other words. Then the Sayyid mentions the second possibility, and that if she was close to delivery, let's say she was in her 8-9 months of pregnancy, just a few weeks before giving birth, and the fasting is a strain for her, it's difficult for her, again, she's allowed to break her fast and make it up later again, qada afterwards, after the holy month of Ramadan. The third option or possibility is that if fasting does not harm neither the mother nor the fetus or the baby, let's say she's on her first 2 weeks of pregnancy and she feels that she can fast, she wouldn't be harmed in anyhow, or even the fetus. In this case, the Sayyid says that it is obligatory on her to fast those days of the holy month of Ramadan, in this case.
Interesting. Shaykh, what about if a lady, she's on her monthly cycle, the Hayd period, and just after Fajr Adhan, she's completed her cycle and now she's tahir now. Can she perform the fast for that day? Is it valid for that day?
You see, if this happens during the day of the fasting, then it becomes void and batil. That fast would not be accepted, so she needs to make it up later.
Okay.
For the holy month of Ramadan. في عدة من أيام أخر, other days in which she can make it up later.
Excellent. Just a quick reminder to our viewers that this is a live show. We do take in your questions. So if you have a question you'd like to ask, please send it in via the WhatsApp, the email address, or alternatively, give us a call 0203 515 0199. And one of our viewers has sent in a question, inshallah, will be popping up now. And that is, what is the Islamic law about someone who cannot fast due to old age? From the opinion of His Eminence, the Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sistani in Najaf.
Sayyid Sistani is clear that fasting is not obligatory or wajib on the one who is in such a old age. They can't really be patient with regard to the food and drink. They have to eat something, drink something, they have to have something during the day. Then fasting is not wajib on them. Also, the one whom fasting would cause extreme hardship, for them also fasting is not wajib, but they have to give mud of 750 grams of food per day, which was not fasted, to a Shia poor individual in this case.
I see. Inshallah. Shaykhna, I mean, we discussed this before, the show as well, that sometimes in certain communities, hijab is practiced by our sisters, but at home behind closed doors, maybe not so strict. for example, my own community, the Pakistani community, I know I have, people I've seen outside, they're in full, niqab and with the abaya and everything. But when they're home, maybe they're a bit more relaxed because they're among familiar people, brothers, fathers, cousins, and so forth, uncles. Maybe they'll have, the sleeve showing. Maybe the scarf is not fully covering their hair. Maybe some of the hair is being shown. They're a bit more light, a bit more lenient with their hijab. As a non-mahram, am I allowed to look at this person with lust and pleasure?
Well, it's not permissible at all. She would be like any strange woman outside the street. Yes, you might be someone who you know her, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, she is the wife of your brother, for example. You know her for the past 30 years. She's now in her 50s. Still, it's not allowed. You are non-mahram to her, and likewise. So she must fully cover. In terms of the hair showing, she must be cover the hair, the head, in terms of what has been shown, not allowed. The only allowed in Sharia is the hands and the face. So these are the two in which are allowed to be visible. Otherwise, the rest of the body must be covered from anyone who is known to be non-mahram. Even if I know this lady for years and years, I lived in their house for years and years, still she is a non-mahram. I have to make sure that I don't look from my position as a hukum of Shar'i, and she should cover her hair and body parts.
Shah, what about the opposite way around? When such a lady, she gets married and she joins her husband's family. Now, what if his husband, he lives at home? Maybe he lives with his father and his mother. He's got brothers and so forth. In that situation, what is of the hijab of his wife? His Eminence, the Grand Ayatollah, says Sistani has an opinion. What does he say?
The Sayyid mentions that the one who can she be mahram with and halal be with to look at is the father of the husband. He becomes halal to her, and the grandfather of the husband.
Mm-hmm.
So they are halal to this woman. Otherwise, his brothers, uncles, they're not halal. No, they have to make sure they don't look at her if she has no hijab, or she must at least cover herself from them by the means of hijab. Even if they know her, been there for many years, still.
Excellent.
They have to observe it.
Shaykhna, another question from one of our viewers, I do believe, and that is, in my adolescent days, I deliberately broke my fast one day in the month of Ramadan, and I was ignorant of the ruling. Do I have any obligations?
Because of this ignorance in the hukum, you are actually obliged to offer and perform the qada, make it up later after the holy month, and ask Allah's forgiveness and istighfar in this case.
Okay. We've got a couple of more questions come in, Shaykhna. I hope you don't mind. First one, I heard some Shia say that if your turba is stained dark brown, you can't use it for paper, you can't use it for prayer, and for your prayer will be batil if you use it. Is this true?
If there is a dense and thickness that covers between your forehead and the turba and the actual clay itself, then you have to remove it. It has to be something thick, a thickness, let's say some kind of gel or paint, then you have to remove it. But it's just a brown, it doesn't mean that you can't pray on it. But that could be from the sweat of the forehead, a bit of maybe grease and so forth.
Yeah. One from one of our viewers again, and that is, if medication is to be taken 12 hours apart, can one take a tablet and drink water and then still fast? Would it be accepted with the fast? Or does the fast have to be redone with the short hours?
If you're ill, then you're exempt from fasting. Then you can break your fast because you're ill. As I mentioned for the pregnant woman, for example, who was pregnant, for example. So you have to see yourself if you can change the times in terms of taking the tablets. That it can be by the time of iftar and before fajr, and by suhoor time, then you can fast. But if the fast harms you, then of course you're a marid, you're an ill person, you can't fast in this situation, which means you're allowed to break your fast because you're ill. Let's say diabetes, or they can't really fast. They try, but they actually, they fall, and they can't continue fasting. In this case, if somebody is ill, medically ill, and he knows himself or herself that they cannot continue fasting, then they are ill and they can break their fast.
Shaykh, what about if, in relation to this, can one pay fidya instead of redoing the fast during the short hours?
There are some conditions with regard, inshallah, we'll come to
Okay.
later, inshallah.
And finally, Shaykhna, what is the concept of khums and is it wajib? Why do Sunni Muslims do not do it, and how is it different to zakah?
Well, khums is mentioned in the Holy Quran, that ma ghanimtum fa inna lillahi khumusahu. The ayah is very clear. But the difference between us and the non-Shia is that they said that khumus is only in the battlefield. So when there's a battle and there are gains, when you divide those gains in the battlefield, then you take out the khumus for the
The booty.
Exactly,
the
yeah.
Okay,
But we have Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, the hadith of Ahlulbayt and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in which state clearly that you have to pay the khumus at the end of the day.
Okay.
Whatever is left over, I think I mentioned this in the previous
it's more to do
episodes.
with surplus, anything you have extra. And zakat is, when I studied it in Hausa, it was on stuff like dates and wheat and animals. It's more like for farmers and stuff.
Exactly, for the farmers,
And
yeah.
zakat is 2.5%, whereas
Exactly.
khums is a fifth, 20%.
20%, yes.
But it's only on what's extra, not what you actually need to
Exactly.
survive. Shaykhna, thank you so much for joining us on Ahkam SOS. And I know even during these times, I know it's only the 3rd of Ramadan, but the fasting is, mashallah, catching up to us slowly. But Shaykhna still manages to do research and prepare, to help you guys. Thank you so much, Shaykhna. Thank you to all of you for joining us on Ahkam SOS. Inshallah, we'll be back again tomorrow at 6 p.m. here on Imam Hussein TV 3. If you have any questions, please send them in via the WhatsApp, the email address, or give us a call 0203 515 0199. A couple of viewers did send in questions today. Keep them coming. Inshallah, we'll be able to answer and discuss all of them. Inshallah, see you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.